Okay, so one of my crazy moments is distractions, and they're all over, like phone, social media. I also gave up TV beginning of this year, so that's not really around, except if we're talking about some of the shows that I like watching. Side point. But I mean, how do you stay current? Family time, work time, meeting time. That's even one of mine, because we'll have meetings and then something happens or someone walks in, the next thing you know, we're totally off the agenda. So what keeps you moving forward? And I know Ed was talking about something too, squirrel.
Yep, that's me.
Well, I got into entrepreneurship because I wanted freedom, and I wanted to be able to do time my way. And so I have two boys, Zarek and Trayson. They're 7 and 8 years old, and they're pretty much the reason why I do what I do. And so around my boys, everything is based around them and what I can do for them, obviously. I still schedule my work schedule as a work week, 9 to 6, because I have to get my kids in the evening and things like that. And I just made a conscious decision, when I wanted to take my business seriously, that I wasn't going to take away from them to do things that are not going to bring things back, right, to my household or whatnot. So I really don't do things that are not going to enhance us. I'm really conscious about that. I don't want to take away time from them just to hang out. My hangout days are over, until I get to where I want to be and I can relax. And it's not a big deal for me to do those things because I'm spending more time with my kids, But it was a conscious decision for me. And I do get distracted. And when you said phone, I was like, oh, yeah, I do be on my phone a lot.
I've actually gone as far as to do time out from the phone. So I'll do 25 minutes of just focused work time. Yeah. It's amazing how much you can get done in 25 minutes when you really work it.
That's true.
And then, my timer goes off, and I have 5 minutes off, or run around, do whatever I need to do, and then come back to it. But it's amazing when you have that kind of system in place that you actually do get a lot done. And a lot of times it's phone calls or just being really aware of where you're spending your time, what's worth it.
That's right.
And it's tough because I think with so many distractions, and we have so much fun stuff that we can be doing. It's just one of those things, just I want to go play.
You had a guest on not too long ago talked about that certain times of the day they shut their phone off for family time. And I've been doing that. I took that advice, and for the past 2 weeks, I started off with just one day. It's Sundays after 2 o'clock. I just put my phone on Do Not Disturb, and I don't look at it again for hours. I just do whatever. I take my Apple Watch off, and I put it
disconnect.
Aside. I do. I unplug completely, and it is liberating.
I love how you said the watch, because that is such an amazing thing. It's meant to give us more of a work ethic, but it just does not give us a life.
It doesn't.
It soaks us up. We're always what are we missing? What am I, what's on social? What's on,
Yeah. I had that problem with social for a while where I was constantly, what's going on with it? What's going on with it? And I've gotten myself off of that now. And the trick is not to post as much. That's what it is.
So you don't get the chimes.
There you go. So if you post, if you're running a business page, you post stuff relevant to your business. If it's your personal page and somebody's going on, with something in their life and you check out, that's fine. But my personal page, I just post funny stuff and just things to make people smile. I don't post any of the drama and all that good stuff.
What?
And then I concentrate on my business page. So
it's a constant thing, but it's necessary to do it too. So
there's
that, possibly that could be something that's given to associates or just the staff, and just kind of create momentum for it, because it's become the new TV. It's become the what's happening. It's where I found out about news. It's where I find out about what's happening.
It is where I find out about news.
Yeah,
People post everything. You're like, oh, that's what's going on.
Wow, and your kids now. So you're you have a 7 and 8 year old. Have they started with the social media world? And
they're on YouTube all the time. They're YouTubing, and I'm like, what are you watching? And they're pretty good kids. They watch the gaming shows. There's people that it's called Gaming with Kev, so he's a gamer. And
my son, he's 14, he watches that.
Yeah, they're gamers, and basically they're just talking throughout the game. You know what I mean? And they love it.
They
You know,
record what they're video gaming and post it on YouTube.
it's just commentary.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is, and it's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's funny. I remember back 2 years ago, it was more or less you get caught into a YouTube vortex where you watch something and it just triggers something, and you next thing you know, 4 hours.
Hours on YouTube. That is so true.
What just happened?
That's so
But now
true.
I see that with my kids, especially my 4.5-year-old. I had to take her tablet away.
4.5?
4.5, and I put on the YouTube Kids app, and she got hooked on this thing called Ryan's Toys Review. Seriously. And it's this kid whose parents worked out a deal with these toy companies, and they film their kid playing with these toys. They get paid to do it, and these kids are obsessed with it.
It's crazy.
Absolutely obsessed. So now she gets, a lot of time to watch kids YouTube, and a lot of that you've even got to go through and make sure that they're watching stuff
Appropriate.
Right. Yeah, I've got it locked down because I couldn't believe some of the stuff she was watching.
So do you find that she's now being marketed to and like now wants certain things that aren't typically out on the mainstream?
Sort of, because the account runs through my Google account. So, yeah, I get marketed to basically of the toys that the videos she's watched more than
Brilliant,
once.
isn't it?
Oh, it's incredible. Incredible.
Marketing has taken such a shift these days. Like,
Oh.
it's where your attention is will be what you need to know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's the upcoming, it's like where you find out about the next phone, it's where you find
It is.
out about what the new toy is, and if the holidays coming up. I mean, that's where kids are. They're looking. YouTube is like this kind of amazing platform. Oh my god. Like, people aren't spending money on commercials anymore. What for?
Why?
Yeah, why? Right.
Terrestrial radio. I mean, we're used to spend $500 on a 30-second commercial. You're lucky if you're getting a portion of that at this point, just because they're going to spend their money on creative ads on Facebook, Google. Yeah. I looked up something for my car about 2 weeks ago. I can't get rid of the stupid car ads now.
They're just attached to you
Oh
now.
man,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
It's the attention.
It is the attention.
Yeah, and that marketing right now has got like sticky little legs to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's great.
But it can benefit the entrepreneur too.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
I think if used correctly, I think there's definitely some momentum. I still will always be grassroots marketing though. I think there's something so genuine about finding out about things from other people.
Mhm.
It's such a wonderful thing to know the person that you're actually working with, especially in your industry. There's something so genuine about
I love
getting
it.
to know. I mean, Ken's awesome. I am a client. I love him. I love working with him. I think it's fantastic to know where he comes from and what his background is. And and like knowing that he's got my back when it comes to certain things.
Mhm.
And like even like you call me about certain things, I'm like, Ken, I trust you. Do what you need to do.
Right.
And it's such a great feeling because I know he has my back.
And so when we talk about that, because I mean, the industry has changed so much. Now people can, go to Vanguard or go to Charles Schwab, and you don't really get that face-to-face interaction like you used to really get. Now you're just talking to somebody on the phone, and you might get another person the next time. And that's why I really like working with Ameriprise Financial. I'm such a relationship builder and a people person that I really want to be able to connect and let people know that I genuinely care about them. If we're going to be managing their money or I'm educating about life insurance, I don't want them to feel like they're just another number in the queue.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I really want them I want to understand what their needs are and what their wants are for their family and their goals so that we can really give them something that's going to be beneficial for them. It's not a one-size-fits-all in any investment strategy or life insurance policy, and people don't understand that a lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
And it's long term.
It is.
I mean, a lot of times they're thinking about things that are going to be for the rest of your life.
That's
Like,
right.
This is something life insurance, like your investments, everything
Mhm.
is just long term. So you must love the person you're working with.
Yeah.
Since
And I want to have those relationships. I mean, when the guy told me, he's like, you have a psychology degree, you must like people. And I was like, I do like people. That's why I went and got that degree. I didn't know what I wanted to do with it.
Right.
I knew I didn't want to be a counselor, but I do still do some sort of counseling, which is interesting because I didn't want to be like the therapist on the couch, type deal. But this is more like proactiveness, and I like this part of the business.
Mm-hmm.
well, you're dealing with a lot of people's goals and dreams. I mean, this is a future that sometimes they don't even know that they're aware of yet. It's really understanding, asking the right questions.
Mhm.
Realizing, okay, travel for the rest of your life. Do you want some kids' education? What is it? So you can
Yeah.
actually get to that piece.
Yeah, and so what I've been finding out with millennials, we're not going to retire. You know, we don't think about retirement like, oh, when we're 70, we're going to quit working. So I don't talk about retirement with them. I talk about lifestyle planning, because essentially it's what type of lifestyle do you want to live at that age? What do you want to be doing? You know, like where are you going to live?
Tiny
You know?
house.
So retirement scares people off. They're like, I'm not going to retire. I don't want to think about that. And so now when we say lifestyle planning, you know, they're just like, oh, okay, that's more digestible. Yeah, let me think about what type of life I want to be living when I'm 50 and 60.
It's all in the phrasing.
Exactly, it really is.
Well, they have a different mindset when it comes to work. It's not working for the rest of your life. I know that not retiring, but it's not the work that we're accustomed to.
That's right.
Have been accustomed to, where they're actually creating something that works on its own. Like making those, making the dollar bills while you're sleeping is really the goal.
Right.
Like really having something that's working when you're not there.
That's right.
And it's just such a different mindset altogether. But it's definitely something that you want to also incorporate. Hey, are you putting away? Have you decided where you want to go into the next 20 years?
It's strategizing. Essentially, it's just strategizing. And a lot of people don't realize that it's all about strategizing. It's just planning.
Well, and you had mentioned last time we spoke about being someone that's into philanthropy. Like that was something in your future. And I was so brought back about that. I'm like, it's funny to think about your family and the people around you, but to think outside of that and to actually create something that's actually giving back in a bigger way. I mean, that was actually what, I'm like, all right, Ken, you're on the show, so I definitely want to talk about, where you're headed with that. And it's one of my favorite things as far as charity. I've done a lot of nonprofits. I even thought about turning the show into a nonprofit. See, now that I said it, we'll have to really see. But where are you heading with that? I know you have some events coming up as well.
Yeah, so essentially, I just know that with much responsibility, with much is given comes much responsibility, and obviously, I would like to be able to have unlimited resources, for myself and my family. But there's other people that don't even know how to get into that position to have unlimited resources. And so, helping them figure that out, giving them platforms. And that's pretty much what I'm on my way to creating for entrepreneurs, is platforms where they can see like, okay, this is what I need to do to build relationships with people, to get out there, get my name known, and to let people know what I do so that they can start to see me and know me in a different light. And so I've been hosting an event called Connect the Dots, which I think is like perfect because it brings everything together,
And dominoes.
Yeah, Connect the Dots. It's every fourth Friday at Michael's, Park Central. It's a staple in the community. Been here for 20 or so years. And essentially, we have different entrepreneurs come out and speak about, what it is that they do, their entrepreneurial journey and struggle, because everybody's entrepreneurial journey is going to look different. It's not going to be the same. What's for you may not be for me, and vice versa. But just talking about, failures. Right. Because essentially that's what entrepreneurship is about. Failures and overcoming those failures and keep pushing on and not letting people discourage you and give up, because this lifestyle is not for everybody, and people will discourage you in a heartbeat because you're like talking about your struggles. I'm struggling in this area, and it's just like, let's go get a job. And it's just like, no, I don't want to get a job. But just trying to figure those things out and having that support of other entrepreneurs that understand that.
How many in your group now? How's it?
So it's been growing pretty good. I'm on my 7th one, and we're getting to about 40 guests each one now.
Awesome.
Yeah, and so I'm starting to get some really popular names here in Phoenix. I'm not from here, so I've just been kind of maneuvering around and getting to know different people, and they see what I'm doing, and they're just like, yeah, we want to support that, and so we have our guest coming out on October 27th, Roy Tatum. He's actually one of a Legal Shield representative, pretty high up in there, and he's an entrepreneur, and he talks about conscious capitalism. And that's going to be his subject topic on October 27th, and how we can bring that full circle. Because people make money, but they forget they need to put money back, into the community. So, trying to get them to understand that. And it's really a benefit for them when you think about it. That's what the nonprofits are there for. Right. Like a lot of people want to create a new nonprofit, and it's just like, they're already there. Make more money so we can give it to the nonprofit so they can do what they're here to do.
Exactly.
Is there any nonprofits that you're really in line with, or one of your favorites?
When I first got here, I was actually volunteering at St. Vincent de Paul, and I was in their food kitchen, and I really like what they do there. I mean, they feed over like 4,000 families, a day.
I do know that.
Yeah, they feed a lot of families, and I just love their model, and I just think it's such a beautiful thing. I've brought my kids there. They have a day, 1 day a month. I forgot what they call it right now, but you can bring your children there, and they do like different little projects and help pack different lunch sacks and lunch stuff like that. And so I've worked with them. I've worked with some nonprofits in San Diego, Stand Up for Kids. That was for homeless kids, and it's crazy how many kids end up homeless, and I was really an advocate about adoption, because a lot of people become homeless after they leave the foster system.
Right.
And so I kind of got into that passion of like, oh my gosh, these kids need families. We need to get into adopting because that's where the homelessness comes from a lot of the time. They age out of the system and nobody wants them and they don't have the resources and the skills to, create a life for themselves, essentially.
Well, then you have to figure it out, not always the best way possible, but the way that works.
Yeah.
And that's when I think there's actually a loss of community.
Yeah.
Because they've actually isolated themselves, figuring it out for themselves versus having, loved ones and family support. And we take it for granted.
Right. That's right.
Like I know my kids, sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, I totally spoiled you. Or, Dad and I really spoiled you on that one.
Right.
But it's really coming back to, making sure that they are giving back to the community. I remember taking my kids at a young age to St. Mary's Food Bank.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember my son, he was like 7 or 8, he looked up and he's like, what are those giant checks for on the wall? Because those are people that are giving back. Because I'm going to do that one day.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like,
Oh, wow.
that's awesome. Like
It
having
is.
that ability to actually see that,
Mhm.
produce something that's giving back. And at the end of the day, they told us how much food we provided, how many, and they were just like, wow. But it takes so much effort. And these food banks and all these nonprofits are out there doing things that are actually making a difference.
Yeah.
It's awesome to see when people are giving back. And it doesn't take much. And it's not always money that they need. Like, they
Right.
can actually just donate their time
That's
and
right.
make a difference.
And so I always come back to the fact that, we live in a society where we believe in God. And I think it's just a natural thing, if you're a true believer, to want to make sure that your family's taken care of and to really want to be there and help others, to be a servant, to serve others or whatnot. And I definitely feel that, I'm all about servitude. And I feel that when you do the right things, the Lord will provide. The opportunities will align, the situations will be there. And we just got to get back into that mindset of thinking about others and not just thinking about ourselves.
It actually gets you back somehow. It's amazing when you start thinking about others and actually just produces for you too.
Mhm.
There's just freedom that comes
Yeah.
about it. So how do people get to your event? Like, is there online?
Yeah, so on
information?
Facebook, it's Connect the Dots. Haven't got the website yet. Just been kind of building slowly as it comes. But Connect the Dots on Facebook. That's essentially where we're at right now. Getting in contact with me. I create a flyer and I just post it on there. And I want it to be organic because I want it to be a community of people who really want to build relationships with others and they really want to start to practice community, and practice group economics in a small setting so that they know what that looks like. A lot of people say group economics, but they don't really know what
Right.
group economics is. And so, kind of starting to see that because if we start to work together, we can start to see the dollars circulating with each other. And they can see that in a smaller scope, obviously, rather than in a bigger spectrum.
That's so awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So do you have a younger generation that's actually joining this, or like a small Connect the Dots?
Not yet,
In
but
the
I definitely
future?
want to do that. It's
Like
just kind of
little
hard.
dots
It's
come
kind of hard
together.
getting to the younger generation because I'm like, you guys are 20-something. You guys need to get this life insurance. It's $20. Get your $100,000 policy started. And they just don't really see it right now because obviously they don't have kids a lot of the time. And, they're just living life. I remember when I was 21, I was just happy to go hang out.
That's right.
You're like $20. I can spend that this weekend.
Yeah, exactly. So, it's kind of hard to get them their thought process thinking about it, but I definitely, anybody that I talk to, I'm always telling them to start saving, because I wish somebody would have told me, it's better to start saving now than later, because as we talk to people when they're older and they find out they need to save $1,000 a month rather than $200
That's
a
the
month to get to their income goals, this is being in the financial services industry has definitely been like an eye-opening experience. It changed my whole mindset about how I view money and how I interact with people, and it's been a crazy ride, but I love it. And I just want to get the information out there to others because I feel that if they knew better, they would do better. Obviously,
I think most people just want the moment. And it's funny
They
because I
do.
know living in the
They
moment
do.
is important, but it's like thinking of that future and what you're living for and creating a future that actually you want to live in is very important.
It is because a lot of us forget that the biggest thing in retirement is medical bills.
Yeah.
That's
a
the
whole topic altogether.
that's how people go bankrupt. You know, you can save as much money as you want, and if you don't have the proper things in place, you know, as far as medical expenses and things like that, you'll be wiped out. You know, and so getting people to understand that we really do have to plan.
Well, and it's funny because that's also something that hits entrepreneurs a lot, where it's like, okay, where are you getting your insurance coverage from? And how are you going to supply if something big happens? And I mean, I think we've talked about it before, like texting and driving has caused so many issues on the road.
Yeah.
You know, and they're little fender benders, but now you're actually going to see, you know, Dr. Chris because your back's out.
That's right. You just texted me.
He must have known.
I guess.
But it's definitely something that you have to be aware of, and the more you are aware and doing things about it, and you know, sitting down with you, is that something that people can do at any time?
Yeah, and so my whole thing is like when I'm talking to parents, I'm just like, okay, that's the thing, right? When my kid turns 16, I want to go buy them a car. And I'm just like, but you're not going to get them life insurance? Oh my God. Like, why would you do that? And so kind of trying to get them to understand, like, you don't want to put your kid in a position where, you know, they could die at any time because there's so many fatalities on the road and they don't have the proper insurance. You know, so it's mindset. It really is. That's why I like this marketing money mindset, because it is really about that.
It's what are you doing with the money that you're producing?
That's right.
And definitely the mindset that it takes to produce it all together, because if not, what are you planning for?
That's right.
Like it's definitely planning ahead and knowing where you're headed. Being an example for others is huge too, and I think that's also part of that giving back. You know, I know we're heading towards, you know, the season of giving. So what do you do for the holidays? Like, is it something that you plan ahead with your kids? Are you really conscious about where you're spending money and budgeting?
Yeah, I am. So I really don't participate in all the hoopla of, like, you know, going out and like doing all this shopping. Because I mean, I feel like my kids are blessed and I get them pretty much whatever they want at any time. If they're good, right? If they're doing the right thing and they ask me to get a car or they ask for skates, I'm going to get it for them.
How you're doing?
But I mean,
I'm always like, no.
That's only if they're doing good. Now, if you have to, you know, be reprimanded and you've been in timeout, then I'm like, you don't really deserve these things. Yeah. So, you know, kind of get them back into the mindset.
Wait, just to be clear, we're talking about Matchbox cars, not real cars?
Yeah, not real cars. Yeah, I'm talking about.
I forgot there's so many.
I'm moving in with
Hot Wheels.
My kids are going to call me in 3 minutes.
So I want them to be givers. You know, I don't want them to be selfish at all. And I think sometimes when we do the things that we do around Christmas time, it doesn't give the feeling of giving, right? They're just like, give me, I want. And like, we're so blessed, a lot of us, and we have so many things at our disposal, and really trying to take the time to acknowledge that and pay attention to the people who don't have those things and that need our help, you know? So there's been times for Thanksgiving, you know, I've cooked up some food and, you know, took it to some homeless people. I did that my first year here in Arizona, did some lunches and made some boxes or whatnot for people. And I want my kids to be a part of that because we have so much. You guys eat good all the time, you know, and there's people who are not eating at all. And
you know, there's also the awareness of, you know, like the Children's Hospital. I mean, you may be fine financially, but when health is an issue,
that's right.
There's nothing that, I mean, I'm like speechless when it comes to that, because there's nothing much that you want to do, just you want more time for people.
You do.
And those are the moments, like having time. And that's one of my favorites. My love language, quality time, by far. And I would so much rather just be around, play games with big game players at the house. And my dad's just always taught me that. It's like celebration, being together.
Exactly. The togetherness.
You know, and mom will always make meals. She's 88 this year. She's just like cooking up a storm.
I love that.
Loves it.
Yeah.
And that's how she shows love. And it's one of those things that we take it for granted. But when she puts time and effort into that and so much love into the food, we're just all celebrating. And those are the moments that I remember.
Yeah.
Like, there's no gift that actually can change that.
Exactly. And so I do get them gifts. Don't get me wrong. It's not like a bare tree or nothing. You guys don't get anything this year. But I do get them a couple gifts, but I just really try to make it about what we can do for others, you know, and how can we be of service, because I don't want to raise entitled kids that don't know how to be kind to others.
Do you do the turkey trot? Is that in Fountain Hills still, you know?
I don't know.
Oh, I never heard of that. What is that?
So I guess it's like Thursday, Thanksgiving morning. There's like I don't even know how many miles, but in Fountain Hills they'll go for the turkey trot.
Oh, wow.
And it's one of those fun things that you can do, like work it off before you eat.
Okay.
So
we might have to do that.
Yeah. It's fun stuff. It's, you know, being, or like going for a hike. I have a friend of mine who does like the hike every every Thanksgiving and kind of prepares, get those calories burned before you
Start eating.
Yeah.
It's kind of calorie heavy during that time.
Exactly. All that bread, all the food. Oh, yeah, it's going to be fun this year. But yeah, doing fun things like that. Definitely creating habits.
That's
and
right.
tradition.
That's right. For having a tradition. I know a lot of people are like, if it's tradition, it must be right, but we know that that's not true. And so sometimes, you have to create your own traditions to be fulfilled with the things that matter to you, so.
So have you gotten your kids into the mindset of saving that? Like I know there's some apps.
Yeah, they like to save. They save for their toys. They're just like, I really want this. I'm going to hold on to my money. And sometimes when they're asking me for stuff, I'm like, how much money do you have? Because they need to think about it. Do you really want it? Because I got to spend my money on other stuff. And I know that you have money. So do you really want to spend your money? And when they think about it, they'll say, no, I don't.
Yeah.
Spend your money.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, I got to spend my money? You want it? And then they're just like, well, no, I can wait.
I tell my kids, my in-laws always give them Amazon gift cards. And as soon as they used to run home, get on the computer, and see what I can get.
Mm-hmm.
And now I tell them, nope, you got to hold that thing for 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to figure out what you want or need. And I tell you what, now, since I've done that, a lot of times, they will donate part of it.
Wow.
Because you have a donate thing that you can do on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll say, okay, well, I only need, I want to get these headphones, and I've got $50 on the gift card, but the headphones are $35. They'll donate the rest.
Wow. Where do they donate it to? Is it a choice? Or
Yeah,
is
there's a couple different charities and so forth.
And say donate here.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's such a great thing.
Yep.
So they're getting in the giving and getting.
Teaching them to be thoughtful.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Yeah. It's kind of like keep the change.
Right. Right.
Mm-hmm. That's so great.
Yeah.
So is this something that you're going to continue with them as well as the philanthropy? Maybe even having like the mini dots connection.
Yeah.
I'm having a good time with the connection.
You need to come out.
Yeah,
you guys should come out to connect the dots.
Sure.
And my boy, when I first got in, I was like, I'm a lifesaver because I know that when people use this policy, they're going to be glad that they got it, And so my son was like, yeah, I want to be a lifesaver too.
Oh, so they're going into the business as well.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I want. That's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to have something to link down for them and so that they can continue on the legacy to help others in whatever capacity that they're supposed to be doing that in. And so, I just really want to be able to instill good values and, give them something to work on. Because I just remember coming out of my teenage years and I didn't really have a good direction or plan, and I want them to know, like, hey, you can do a little bit of hanging out, but don't get caught over here just hanging out when there's so much to do, to get accomplished.
Yeah, just make sure where you're headed.
That's right, exactly.
Have fun, but know where you're headed.
That's right.
I guess that's the theme for today.
There you go.
For sure, know where you're going.
Mm-hmm.
So, as far as reaching you, is it best to do it through Facebook or is it phone call or
Facebook? I'm Get Covered with Shasta. You got
Get Covered with Shasta.
There you go.
Get Covered with Shasta. I got my Connect the Dots. I'm with Ameriprise Financial. My direct line is 602-559-8951. Email address is shasta.broadus@ampf.com. And it's stress-free. Like, I'm just a fun person. I love my business, and I'm really passionate about it. So I try to just make it, a regular conversation. It's just me and you. Let's talk about things that get you excited because that's what people like to talk about, the things that get them going. And once they start talking about those things, then, it's easy.
Virgo, thank you for being on the show today.
Thanks for having me.
I
Yeah.
look forward to going to Connect the Dots coming up October 27th.
6 p.m.
We'll share it on our Facebook page. Just give.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
All right. So have a great
Thank you. Thank you so
guys next
much.
week. Bye.